What is going on, friends? Welcome back to Edgework, here on the Edgework HQ YouTube channel, part of the Hammer Betting Network, guys. I am Jason here, filling in for producer Zach. You can catch me on the Forward Progress YouTube channel if you haven't seen me here before, but I'll be filling in for Zach today alongside, obviously, Matt Russell and Alex Moretto, two familiar faces that you guys know and love. Before we get into the show here, just want to ask you guys quickly, let's get those likes up and let's get those subscribes up. Zach told me he would not come back on the show tomorrow unless we hit minimum 50 likes today, guys. So if you want Zach back,
definitely tired of seeing me likes now.
I was going to say, why is that?
Is this the wrong incentive I'm putting out here? Okay. Well, if you want to see me here tomorrow, hit 50 likes and then we'll negotiate something here. Anyways, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And before we get into the games here, guys, just want to remind you that the easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is to always use multiple sportsbook and always get the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp. We usually bring it up on the screen here throughout the show. BetStamp, as you see, compares odds across every sportsbook for games, futures, and player props. Save time, save money. Check out BetStamp before you bet. Download the app today. And if you're looking to sign up for new sportsbooks, guys, please check out our offers over at betstamp.app/Edgework. And if you sign up through that page, it helps support the show. And we've done very, very well on this channel. You guys done great. You're up 4.2% ROI on BetStamp, according to this, which is where we track every single day here on the show above Alex's head there. If you search Edgework HQ, all the plays are tracked there live on BetStamp. Now, let's just dive into things, guys. There was obviously that trade yesterday, but I feel like we're going to skip over that. We don't care about prospects here. We care about picks, right? So let's get right into the picks here. And we're going to start off with the Seattle at Buffalo game right now, close to a pick 'em. Buffalo's around -110, -114 here across the board. Matt, you liked something here on the Buffalo side. So why don't you tell us a bit about your handicap and break down this game for us?
Yeah, just the Seattle Kraken getting a little too much credit for recent run that they've been on here. Buffalo has actually played, honestly, kind of just as well, at least from a 5-on-5 perspective. I was on Buffalo on running these days into each other. That would have been Saturday as an underdog against Pittsburgh. They won outright there. And so, honestly, I think Buffalo's not getting the credit that they deserve for playing a lot better since the Christmas break as well. I think they were 3-3 going into that game against Pittsburgh. No one seemed to notice that they won that game, apparently. So at home with a short price like this against a Kraken team that, listen, this isn't last year when we had our glorious almost run to the Jack Adams Award. This is, for me, Sabres or nothing at such a short price.
So you sent to me the -104 here. We've seen it move since we've gone over our picks here before the show here. Are you okay with playing that -110 that's available kind of everywhere here? Or you need like a little bit of a shorter price to play this?
-110 is fine. That's kind of like the the end point for me. There are plenty of games to bet on tonight, so you don't need to overextend for a bad price. So let's call -110 kind of the furthest we're willing to go here.
All right, I'm going to lock that in since we do have like a lot of picks today. I'm going to lock that in for a half unit here because it is on towards that outer extreme here. Maybe scoop that one back up if you're looking towards later today, looking at the market and you're seeing it dip back down to that -104 range. Do you guys think Alex, do you think it'll fall back down to like that -105 range? Or do you think this is probably where it will settle at and we'll probably just see it move towards Buffalo as we get closer to game time here?
Yeah, I think Buffalo are kind of worthy of being favorites here. So I don't know that the Kraken will necessarily take more money, but like that being said, honestly, the Kraken have been playing really good hockey. Both these teams have been playing really good hockey. Like if you told me like 2 months ago, hey, you want to watch a Kraken Sabres game? I'd be like, haha, no, I do not. Now, yeah, I'm down. I'm kind of down for this game. Sabres playing a lot better, Kraken playing a lot better. Kind of contrasting styles here too, where like the Kraken have been playing better based on their defense. They've kind of been carried through here as you'd expect by just sound defensive hockey, whereas the Sabres are scoring goals. They're playing exciting. They've loosened things up a little bit. They're letting the kids kind of run with things. It's been fun. So yeah, sort of contrasting styles. Two teams that are very much trending up right now. Should be a good game. I don't have anything in this one, but I do think the Sabres probably the right side. So just going to cheer that one home for Matt.
And worth mentioning from like a contrasting style standpoint, right? Like I always kind of trust the home team to be able to have their style prevail. Right.
Definitely.
And so if that's the case and we get into a kind of a shootouty type of game, not literally, but sort of more figuratively, then I'm gonna like the Sabres even a little bit more here, right? And I don't think it's like a coincidence that they've gotten better once Tage Thompson has came back into the fray. just an assist on Saturday, but I think he had like 8 points in his previous 6 games, something along those lines. So we might see that Sabres team, right, that can put 5 or 6 goals on you relatively quickly. And I think we're looking at Joey Decord tonight, so I'm not overly worried about a goaltender standing on their head. Of course, that's famous last words, right?
I was about to say, be careful what you say here on the show, because this is something that we'll easily clip after the fact when it's like a Joey Decord shutout on 50 shots here. But
yeah. And lastly, sort of thematically throughout the rest of, maybe not the rest of the show, but periodically throughout the show, at this time of the year, a team has like a nice run of like 6 wins in a row, the way that the Kraken have. Or if you've lost a bunch, you don't want to step in the way of a streak necessarily. But when a team hasn't won that, very much, that's the time to sort of buy on them, because motivation, you're kind of looking for anything right now from a motivational standpoint. And it's the flip side when a team has won a bunch of games in a row, right? And obviously the market has sort of seen that the Kraken have won all these games in a row. They're getting overvalued here a little bit, but when you go into Buffalo, right, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. I think there's a certain element of like, you can kind of get trapped in the idea that maybe you're a little bit better than you are. And so if the market's thinking you're a little bit better than you are, and Seattle themselves are thinking they're a little bit better than you are, that's the time for us to fade the Kraken.
And you kind of look at like when two teams are trending up like this, you look at like which team is maybe a bit more smoke and mirrors. And I think the Kraken are more due for a little bit of regression in the sense where like Joey Decord is the other shoe's going to drop at one point. He's not, we have enough of a sample size on him going, far enough back where he's not this goalie that we're seeing right now. It's obviously possible that he's turned a corner like an Aiden Hill but I'm not really banking on that. Whereas the Sabres are just like doing what we'd expected them to do. Like they're scoring goals like they should have been scoring goals. They're not relying on any goalie to sort of stand on their head. So yeah, I think it's just a little bit more sustainable too.
Yeah, fair enough here. Great points from both you guys here. We locked in that -110. That is pretty widely available. Multiple books hanging that -110 here on Buffalo. Half unit though, because we do have a couple plays for tonight here. Let's switch over to the next game. We got the LA Kings heading into Tampa Bay to face the Lightning here. We see it in the chat already. Alex, I'm gonna let you take the lead here on this one. It's not a disgusting Brothers play that I was hoping for on this Tuesday show, but Insight pretty much called it out here. So Alex, without bearing the lead, I'll let you take this game.
Yeah, it's Kings Tuesday. I think that's pretty much that's the only analysis we need here. You lock it in and we move on.
That's my handicap. You stole my handicap.
Kings Tuesday. Look, they have been their play has dipped a little bit, and it's crazy when you say it's dipped when they've gone from 60% expected goal share on the season to 55% over the last month. That's still playing very good hockey. Obviously they've kind of a bit of a gauntlet of a schedule right now. They've lost 5 in a row. Vegas was in there, Edmonton was in there, Toronto was in there, Detroit. Now they're going at Tampa, at Florida, at Detroit, at Carolina, at Dallas. It's a pretty crazy stretch the Kings are in the middle of right now, but look, they're still playing good hockey at the end of the day. This is still a very, very good team. And I as much as I have been pumping Tampa's tires, they are just not showing it yet. And this is a team that relies heavily on special teams in the power play, and Kings kind of one of the things they do best is a penalty kill too. So it sort of negates that advantage a little bit. Just a little bit too short on the Kings here. I like this price. And again, Kings Tuesday. So yeah, I'm in.
Kings Tuesday it is, locking that in. -1. There's a -110 out there, but -115 is more widely available. So we'll lock in, that -115 there. That's more widely available. Matt, any follow up on anything here other than Kings Tuesday?
Yeah, how could I follow up anything that was well put, right? And Alex, like he mentioned, right? It's not that it's not about the Kings. We mostly know what we're going to get with the Kings. It's more just a little bit of disappointment in the Lightning and not being all that afraid of them at home. And I think the market giving a little too much credit to the Lightning for still kind of being this team that, listen, they could win the game tonight. The line is almost kind of a 50-50 type deal here, but when you're talking 50-50 type deals, how often do we get a chance to bet on the Kings in that situation against a team that frankly is not of the upper echelon in the NHL right now? And so I backed the Avalanche last night. Got a little bit lucky, potentially. I don't know if when you go to the shootout, you always kind of feel lucky that you get out of a shootout alive, especially around these parts. But it's like, oh yeah, we get Colorado at home for minus 120. It's like, I kind of don't care what who the opponent is necessarily, even it's scary Boston, which is always never any fun to bet against.
But yeah,
it's kind of the same thing here, where it's like, well, if I get the Kings at less than minus 150, like, you got to tell me the other team is playing really, really good hockey, and that's just not the case with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Fair enough here. And also, just one more point here. It is Kings Tuesday. So,
and you know what? I don't know if you've heard, but it's Kings Tuesday.
gonna leave it at that here. And a reminder, I'm seeing Rich H in the chat, hashtag bring Zack back. Would have worked better if bring back Zack, but
if he's got a 5-game parlay that he wants to enter in here, I think that'll get some likes, right?
Sure. I'll okay. If we can hit 30 likes by the end of the show, then we'll submit Zack's what is it? Handoff parlay. What are we gonna call it here? The alley-oop parlay? I don't know. Oh, the off the show parlay. Sent one in earlier today. So if you guys want to see that, then get those likes up. Just trying to find a way to incentivize you guys here. I can't believe you'd want me here. I'm shocked we're not at 50 likes already. Anyways, let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next game here. We have the Vancouver Canucks. So money's Vancouver Canucks taking on the New York Islanders here. I mean, same thing we saw the last 2 games. Very, very close line. The Islanders are around minus 110 favorites here at home. Yeah, Matt, you're liking the Islanders here. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, a lot of sneaky fun games tonight with these close to pick 'em type deals, right? A lot of Tuesdays we come in, it's like, which hideous pick are we gonna go with next, or which underdog? Believe me, we're gonna get to that stuff. Don't you even worry about it. But going through these first few games, it's like, oh, a little pick 'em here, a little pick 'em there type of thing. Yeah, this for me is the Islanders. You're getting Casey to Smith, so it's not Demko tonight. Back to back, all that kind of thing. And listen, I'm not sort of that worried about the back-to-back sort of at its core, but again, this time of year, right, you come off a win in Manhattan against the Rangers, pretty dominant win, at least on the scoreboard. You're feeling really good about yourself, and then you got to go play the Islanders and deal with Ilya Sorokin, who hasn't necessarily played all that great necessarily this season. But you know what? You're looking at that goaltending matchup and 2 teams that are probably a little bit more closer to equal than the standings certainly reflect. To me, this is a pretty nice spot here for the Islanders to do kind of Islander-y type things here and get a victory. And the Canucks, a couple of wins here in the what is it? The Metro New York area, right? With taking down the Devils on Saturday and then the Rangers last night. They can certainly afford to lose this one and still consider it a pretty successful trip thus far. So, yeah, the nice little spot here for the Islanders here at what is getting to be a pretty short price. Yeah, as low as minus 110. I bet it at minus 113. So people have a little bit more faith in the Canucks to keep this going than I do necessarily. So still high on the Canucks overall, but this is a kind of a tough spot for them.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm going to lock that in at minus 110 here. Full unit play on the New York Islanders for tonight's game here. And I mean, really with the Vancouver Canucks, they've been riding that super hot. I'm sure everyone's aware of the PDO. So you never know when that regression comes. It may never come. You just pray that it's a game that you bet on or where you're fading the Vancouver Canucks. So yeah, Alex, any other points to follow up?
No, that's look, my Isles. I mean, right? This is another one of my teams, one of my several teams. I am a big fan of their work. That minus 110 is very attractive. I made a promise to myself and to the loyal Edgework listeners that I would not bet against the Canucks anymore and lose us any more money by doing so. So I'm gonna sit this one out, at least in terms of giving this as a pick on the show, because I don't want to do that to the Isles, because the second I'm lock that in, pretty much guaranteeing a Canucks victory. So look, I mean, that shooting percentage has to come down. It really has to. And when you're facing Alex Sorokin, good time for that regression to start to hit. Obviously on the back-to-back, Canucks went out there last night to avenge that 1994 Cup loss for so money. Very, very big game. They left it all out there, right? So this is kind of a prime letdown spot now. Kind of a perfect storm here. It definitely is a decent spot for the Isles, who are now back home after a long road trip. I know that's kind of a popular spot people like to fade teams in. I don't really, buy into that too much. Definitely a good spot for them here. I'm not on it myself, but I do agree that the Islanders are the side for sure.
All right, sounds good here. Like we said, locked in the Islanders there. All right, let's move on to the next game here. Let's look at I lost myself here for a second. Okay, we're at Florida, St. Louis. All right, we were talking about these kind of pick'em games. Now we got one that's like very heavily one-sided in favor of the Florida Panthers here, taking on the Blues. I mean, price is like around minus 185 on the money line here for the Panthers. I mean, books are loving them here in this spot. So, Alex, what are your thoughts on this game? Break it down for us because you have a play for us here. So, just give us the rundown.
Yeah, I do. For me, this is a total play, and just kind of, but like, I mean, look, the Panthers have been an absolute wagon, and the Blues, they've been pretty miserable offensively. Kind of can't find any goals right now. Very much a struggle for them to score. They're staying in games with goaltending and good defense, and it's not about to get easier for them offensively against this Panthers team that gives up next to nothing. They're getting good goaltending. Doesn't matter if it's Bobrovsky or Stolarz in net. They're just a really hard team to generate offense against, harder team to even, score on when you get those chances. And so I'd expect a very low event game here, very much a tighter game. Hopefully we do get Binnington and Bobrovsky. I'm okay if we don't. Hofer's been fine. Stolarz, big fan of his, dating back to his days in Anaheim. So either way, I'm good with it. This under 6.5 is shouting out for me, and I am on it, and I very much like it at current prices here. I think there's Penny was just at a minus 115. I guess either way, there's still some minus 115s available. I'd go up to about minus 20 on under 6.5. And then at that point, if it drifts beyond that, I'd rather look for a plus money under 6.
All right, fair enough here, and it's that Moretto market movement coming into effect here on the penny line. We're going to lock in that under 6.5. That's still pretty available at the minus 115 range. We're not done with this game here yet, though, because Matt, you got to play for us here as well. Not on the total, so what is it? Lay it out for us here.
Yeah, here we are. Right, play the clip. Right, Jay. Let's go.
Yeah, I wasn't ready.
The disgusting brothers.
Don't call us that.
St. Louis Blues. Plus 160 or longer, really plus 150 or longer here.
160 pinnacle.
Yeah, better prices available than that. So you got a little wiggle room to work with here, and I imagine honestly it probably gets a little bit longer because, as Alex mentioned, and I fully agree, the Florida Panthers are, they have the wagon belt right now, right? Where around the NHL season, they just hand out the wagon belt and it gets kind of passed around from team to team. But the Blues have taken down some wagon adjacent type teams here since Christmas.
Wagon adjacent, I love it.
They've some stagecoach teams here. You got this a 2-1 win against the Stars, and it was 2-1 victory over the Canucks. Which if you're going to be worried about betting against the Canucks, you got to give the Canucks enough credit to think that they're at least a decent enough team to give the Blues credit for beating them. And then of course went into Carolina and got a shootout win in their last game here. So we've seen that they're capable. Back home here, no sort of questionable scheduling, right? A couple of days off, we're not off a long road trip, all that kind of stuff. And obviously the market getting, really excited about the Panthers to a degree where, they're going on the road here. And they're like minus 170, 180, 190, something like that at this point. You can see that the prices are going up here on Florida, even from the open last night, which again was around minus 170. So you could probably wait a little bit longer and get a better price. I imagine we could even see like a plus 175 here on the Blues. But again, like I said, at anything at plus 150 here on a Blues team, obviously out of the coaching change, playing a lot better than they were at the start of the season. We've done the coaching change thing here numerous times. You get a new coach, right? You're going to work out that much, a little bit harder. And of course, by the way, helps that the goaltending gets better, right? And it always kind of seems to get a little bit better too after a coaching change, right? It's funny how that works. So, hopefully Binnington, who's playing a little bit, talk about your streaky goaltenders, right? You want to catch Binnington on a hot streak. You want to avoid him like the plague when it's not going so well. Like I said, at anything better than plus 150, it's time to get a little disgusting here on a Tuesday with the Blues.
Love it. Locking that in at plus 166 here on the St. Louis Blues. You can find that over on pinnacle here. Before we get into our next set of games, Don Manola is asking us a question, asking Alex, why are we wearing baseball caps? Apparently it's not good for our hairs here. What's going on?
Yeah, well, because I wake up in the morning and I I got a crying kid that's going, off needing attention, and then I got to figure out what I'm betting, and there's all this sorts of stuff going on. I don't have time to make myself look presentable. This is just kind of all over the place, so it's easier to just throw this on and call it a day. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough here. I just I'm in
of all the questions to ask, what an incredibly bizarre one.
I just had to bring it up. I thought it was crazy, but I appreciate Don looking out for us here on the Edgework channel. We always appreciate this, the love and support there. All right, let's move on to the next game here. We got pretty much hitting every single game on the slate here. So got still 4-ish more games to go through, 5 games to go through here. Next one up, we got the Columbus Blue Jackets heading in to Winnipeg to face the Winnipeg Jets. Alex, you like this game? You like a total in this game? So tell us what you like here.
I might like a total in this game. I'm just going to check to see if we have an update.
He's more into the Blue Jackets. Play the clip. Let's go. Alex is on the Blue Jackets.
The disgusting brothers.
Don't call us that.
No, cancel it. Cancel it.
Can I play it in reverse? Is that a thing? Is it undo it? No, I'm just going to mention here.
I need a Merzlikins start in order to get in on this total, basically. So we're not going to lock anything in right now. I don't know what the hell is going on with Merzlikins. He's been a healthy scratch the last couple of games.
Saturday, brutal.
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday was
felt really good about it. It's like Merzlikins going to start, all that kind of thing. And then, of course, Blue Jackets play well. They get a lead, and then just an absolute dribbler on, what's his name, the backup?
Tarasov there. Yeah,
backup to the backup, and you're just like,
I think they're looking to trade Merzlikins and kind of trying to give Tarasov some run, which is maybe preserve Merzlikins' nice stats right now for a trade, because he's always susceptible to turn into a pumpkin. But regardless, Tarasov had a couple nice starts in a row, went to complete shit on Saturday. Do not want to back and under with him in net here. I'm hoping that regression game for Tarasov on Saturday is enough for them to go back to Merzlikins here. If it's not, then I want no part of this. But the Jackets have been trending up. We talk about teams that are trending up. They are one of them, and they're doing so because they've tightened things up. They were giving up all sorts of chances, high danger opportunities, a lot of good looks to teams early in the season. They're still not generating much offense, but they fixed things up at the back end quite a bit. And the Jets are a force right now. I think Columbus should be able to provide a little bit of resistance for them offensively, at least, especially if we can get Elvis in net. Hopefully enough to mitigate the damage at that end, whereas then it's hard to see Columbus generating much and contributing to this total. So I think that, under 6.5 would be a very good look, assuming we can get that Hellebuck, Merzlikins. So you got to keep on Twitter, see what's going on here, see if we get the Merzlikins start. If we don't, then I don't want any part of it. But if we do, then I'm in on the under 6.5 here. Until minus 120-ish. Or I'm sure if it flashes to 6 and we get some plus money 6s, that's fine too. But that's kind of where I'm at here in this game.
And there's a handful of Blue Jacket spots here coming up that if we can get this healthy Merzlikins thing and get him back in there, sort of playing regularly, home to the Kraken, home to the Canucks, home to the Devils, 4 days from now. So, if he is, if he does have this illness, there's Evan in the chat saying he has a young kid and apparently just keeps getting sick from it. He's also apparently wearing his hat in the studio because of it as well. So, a lot going on in the Merzlikins household. I kind of just want to wait to be like, hey, let's get this guy back in the net. Maybe the Jets absolutely truck the Blue Jackets tonight, and then they get a wagon belt match coming up.
Yeah.
Here. That would be sweet. At Wagon Mania coming up in the next little while. The Jets are probably right in second place in the wagon contest right now to the Panthers. So I don't think those teams play each other anytime soon. So it might have to be sort of the wagon committee might have to meet and decide who's got a more impressive resume going forward. But hopefully, with the Panthers loss tonight, that'll leave the door open for the
Jets.
To go from stagecoach to wagon would be great.
I love it here. All right.
I know Columbus's coach called out Merzlikins for that Tom Wilson thing and said that cost him the game, which was a joke that he would call him out for like, for showing a little bit of, God forbid you show a little bit of intensity and passion out there on the ice. Yeah, he's only started once since then. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I honestly have, maybe it is the kid thing. I have no idea what's going on, but it's like normally you can kind of get a good feel for this stuff and sort of, I like you can kind of take a leap of faith in this situation. Like this guy's been a scratch for like I have genuinely no idea what's going on here. I can't bank on him starting. So like you really need to see some confirmation before you can do anything with this game, I think.
Yeah, fair enough here. And also, I mean, market like is at 6 minus 101 over on Pinnacle, 6.5 minus 120. It seems like you said, everyone's expecting Merzlikins here, including the books. But like just out of curiosity,
we're getting at a point now too. We don't have any goalie confirmations unless I've missed something, but I've been frantically.
I checked on Twitter, nothing.
Yeah, and yet the unders has been taking some money here, so I don't know. Maybe someone else knows something, but either way, we're getting to a point soon where like maybe this will even drift out of range, and we do get Merzlikins, and it doesn't even matter at that point. So yeah,
fair enough here. And just on the other side of the coin, if I can't remember other backup goalie's name here, if he does get the start here instead of Merzlikins, would you look towards the over here or no?
No. I do. Rich in the chat with the Columbus team total under 2.5. I don't really play many team totals or off market stuff. I mostly stick to the main market stuff. So like, I didn't necessarily look there. That would be something I would consider playing though, for sure. I kind of prefer to, I don't have like a way to sort of price any of that stuff or anything like that. So I would prefer to stick to a, game under with Merzlikins. But I mean, if you don't get that and you're looking for an alternative, then yeah, it seems like a good bet to me for sure.
Yeah, fair enough here. All right. Great question, Rich. We appreciate all the questions in the chat. Reminder, guys, there's obviously a chat on the side of the screen. If you have any questions, including to do with hats or anything of the sorts, if you want to talk hockey, you're free to do that as well. You got a chat on the side if you want to just drop your comments in there. We love to interact with you live here on the show. We got 4 more games here. Next game we got on the board, Anaheim and Nashville. We're getting like, should I just not even say?
Yeah, now you got to play the clip.
The Disgusting Brothers.
Don't call us that.
All right, there we go. I wanted to do it. I needed your confirmation first. Matt, we'll leave with you on the Disgusting Brothers. Play of the day, you call it that?
Yeah, I mean, in most cases, right? It's like anything else, where the price gets a little too crazy, and you just kind of have to grin and bear it. And maybe we get up to a plus 200 here. I don't know what the best available is right now. Earlier in the day, it was like 196, something like
193 right now.
193 right now. So maybe we don't. We'll see. Either way, either way, my cutoff was 189. So yeah, and anything plus 190 or better, it was full go on the Ducks. And honestly, I hate to say it in front of Alex with, his Predators love, but like anytime the Predators are up in the like the minus 225 type area, it's like on any given game, like I gotta kind of, I get my back up on that, right? Like I like the Predators in a lot of situations as a minus 225 favorite. That is not one of them. And then the Ducks, right? Like they are certainly capable of every once in a while coming up, popping up, and knocking a team off. First game of the road trip here, so maybe we get a little, sort of more buttoned up version of the Ducks, who have played in these under games these last 3, right? Where I think they lost all of them. Yeah, Leafs, Jets, Red Wings. Maybe we're getting a little bit better version of the Ducks, more responsible version of the Ducks, let's say. And if you're going to play in a low scoring type of a game here, we might accidentally win one here with a plus 190, or like I said, maybe even plus 200, which would be a nice little treat. Underdog. So yeah, another gross one here for the gang on Tuesday.
Love it. Lock that in. Full unit here at plus 193. Reminder, you can find all of our plays tracked on the Edgework HQ BetStamp account. Head over to BetStamp, type in Edgework HQ on BetStamp. You can find us, and all of our plays are tracked live here on the show. Good news, it's not at plus 193 anymore. It's at plus 196. So we're going to lock that in at a slightly better price here, thanks to a little bit of a market move as we lock that in here. Alex, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, this is this was a consensus one. I sent this along earlier. Matt's, you apologize because we're betting against my Preds, but hey, I'm betting against them too. So this feels especially disgusting for that reason. Just kind of, cheating on my team here. But you said it. You said it very eloquently that this is a Preds team that is not necessarily a team you want to be backing at these very long prices. The second they tick over, this is a team you want to bet in that feisty underdog role, not a team you want to bet as big favorites. They're pretty volatile team. It's hard to trust them in these kind of spots just because of the fact that they do still struggle to score. And, especially of late, they haven't really done much to warrant this price tag. Their play has dropped off a decent amount. They're not generating much offense anymore. Defensively, they haven't been like anything special. Ducks are bad. I'm not gonna lie. Ducks are very bad. They're one of the teams I, dislike maybe the most. Dislike putting my money on most in the NHL right now, but also subtracting Drysdale from that isn't ideal. Again, we're just like playing into the disgusting aspect of this, and it is gross. But like, you can't lay this price tag with the Predators right now. They just absolutely do not deserve this price. And getting close to plus 200 on the Ducks is definitely worth a bet. Full unit play. Maybe we dabble in the -1.5. We'll do that on our own accord here. I think Zach sent in a 6-game parlay, maybe that we can track later, but we'll see here. But this is a Ducks play for sure.
Yeah, and we're dangerously close to Sharks territory with the Ducks rating, right? And it's like at that point, it's like, okay, we've gone too far in knocking down the Ducks, and like we talked about, right, where it's okay, 5 straight losses. What is it, 5? 5 straight losses. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you're going on the road, and they've obviously shown a little bit better defensively here in the last little bit. So like you could tell me there's not a full scale turnaround coming here, but when you're looking at Hurricanes, Lightning, Panthers on the next 3 games, it feels like one where it's like, if you're not getting the absolute best version of the Ducks, like what are we even doing?
Yeah, fair enough here. And we got the
it's sorry, Jason. I was just gonna say, it's hard to like say a guy who's only played 10 games or whatever this year, matters to this, but like, oh man, not having Drysdale, who has looked so good since coming back from injury, kind of does suck here, especially when you're talking about a Ducks team that has few redeeming qualities on the back end to begin with. But it's preventing us from moving into banger territory. Let's say still a good bet, but that does low key hurt a little bit more than I think than it people will maybe make it out to be.
Yeah, I will throw out there that Radko Gudas is actually like honestly sneaky, very good on the back end there for the Anaheim Ducks here. But I think he's kind of like their only redeeming guy there for them. But yeah, disgusting brothers play of the week locked in plus 196 here over on Pinnacle is where we got that one. Disgusting partners parlay is coming up shortly. If we can get that like goal, I don't know if we hit that yet. We're 1 like away from 30 likes. So if we hit 30 likes at the end of the show, we'll give out the Zack Disgusting Partners parlay here on the show. I think it's a 5-pick parlay. 10. We'll put on 0.1 of a unit on it. Have some fun with it. Hopefully. Anyways, let's 3 more games to close it out. I don't want to keep you guys here for too long anymore. So let's just dive into Edmonton and Chicago. Not playing the clip for this one, unfortunately. I don't know if you can.
Thank God.
You can even think about betting on Chicago.
What's the number where you're betting on Chicago?
Without Bedard, like I actually don't think I would take a number.
Right, like it is purely just sort of, kind of just guessing. Obviously, right? I mean, first Seth Jones, and then it's Bedard. It's like that's literally the only 2 good players on the team.
Yeah, the Blackhawks roster as currently constructed with like the injuries and stuff, what they're going to be trotting out there tonight is maybe the worst NHL team we've seen in ages. And the worst I can remember.
It's like, it's Blackhawks in the last few games, I think, of last season, right? Which was just grim. They still won games, which is crazy, but I don't know that there's a price that I.
Anyways, it's what would you take them against the Hershey Bears? No. Anyways, Alex, you like the total in this game, so I'll let you. I'll let you take this one here.
Yeah, I mean, this boils down to the fact that like Edmonton is. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and say that Edmonton can't score 7 goals and put this over the total pretty comfortably. I'm sure if they really wanted to, they could. And that makes this disgusting in its own sense. But the under here is getting this plus money when you're basically relying on one team to, contribute the majority of goals towards this total. Again, maybe you want to look to a Chicago team total under. I can imagine that would be pretty low and pretty heavily juiced. So that's not something I necessarily care to do. But like the way Edmonton is just completely dominating teams and giving them absolutely nothing. Now you're going to throw maybe the worst team ever up against them and ask them to, start generating offense. Don't think that's going to happen. And again, Edmonton can get to this total on their own. Don't think this is the game where they need to, go all out and leave it all out there, so to speak. Kind of one they can sort of coast through a little bit more. Hopefully we just get that like 4-0, 4-1, 3-1, whatever type of game, and can get this under. But yeah, getting this like these, plus 110s under 6.5, it's a good price. And I am reluctantly scooping it up because I have played this and I can't agree with this number when you have one team that is going to be hard pressed to score a single goal in this game.
Yep, just like, hey, unlike Kanish, when your dog lays an egg, you got to reluctantly pick that thing up, put it in the bag, and take it to the garbage here. So that's what we're gonna do with this one. We're gonna lock it in here at the under 6.5 at plus 110 on the Oilers and Blackhawks game. Yeah, let's Matt. Any other points on this one, or you want to just kind of move on to the next one?
No, yeah, do not want anything to do with this game at all. Put the 2 points in Oilers win column or in their point column, and let's move on.
Sounds good. Hopefully under the total of 6.5 there.
Yeah.
All right, last 2 games to go before we give in that parlay. We got 35. Wow, good job, guys. Keep those likes coming. I'm gonna say 40 likes now, just to be a little bit annoying to get that parlay. Hey, if you want Zach back, smash the like button, hit 50, but 40 likes to get to that parlay. Boston and Arizona here. Boston minus 145 faves on the road here. Matt, you like a side in this game? Give it to me.
I don't know. Is it worth playing the clip? It feels like it is.
It's the Coyotes, so I think
The disgusting brothers.
Don't call us that.
Yeah,
I don't care where they are in the standings. In my mind, it's the Arizona Coyotes, right?
And,
like, it's the Coyotes,
and it's the Bruins, right? Which, like we talked about earlier, just no fun to fade. So yeah, why not? Let's do it. Not even getting plus 150 for our money and doing it. I think that's the most disgusting part, where it's not like you can even talk yourself into like, oh, it's plus 190, like something. No, it's plus 130 is good enough for me. Honestly, even down to like plus 125. From a mathematical standpoint here. Watched a lot of that game last night, and Boston was lucky to be in overtime with the Avalanche, right? The Avalanche were the much better team in that game. Jeremy Swayman stood on his head. He will now be sitting on his backside on the bench while Linus Ullmark goes. And while Linus Ullmark is the defending Vezina trophy champion, if you will, I still much rather see Ullmark than I would Swayman. But honestly, this is more about the Coyotes here. And this is back to that sort of theme here of, at this point in the season, when can we kind of rely on you to play at your best? And that's after you've played absolute garbage for 3 straight games here, the way that the Coyotes have. And listen, pretty good teams in the Panthers, Islanders, and the Jets. And listen, the Bruins fall into that category. But since the new year, 4-1, 5-1, and 6-2. Like, that is brutal. So, again, if we're looking at a team's range at how they can possibly play here, we're getting Connor Ingram in net. A little bit dicey as well. This has got to be the best version of the Coyotes here, right? Like, and maybe that's against the Flames in their next game. But with the Bruins playing late last night, obviously, Denver Mile High situation, a little bit extra time there. And honestly, chasing the Avalanche for much of that game, I think sets up for a situation here where, like, the Coyotes, come on, guys, let's actually get your New Year's started here at some point here. It's January 9th, for crying out loud. So yeah, plus 125 or better here. I think you're going to find a much better price, either now or later, to be completely honest with you, because of the way the Coyotes have played recently. But, I think you see more sort of hard turns when it comes to these teams, getting up for or not getting up for games at this time of the season here. We haven't gotten to the All-Star break, where after the All-Star break, it's like, okay, where are we in the standings? Like, what do we got to do? Right now, it's just like, okay, what have we done lately? Has it been really good? Maybe we can take a night off. Has it been really bad? Maybe it's time to like get our act together here. And I think this is a get your act together game for the Coyotes. And if not, I'll just roll it over and do it again against the Flames in their next game.
Love it. Also, sneakily, Alex, you want to jump in here on anything about Boston and Arizona here?
No, I mean, I think that you can't really justify laying this price with Boston the way they've been playing, and especially on a back-to-back here with travel. But also, the the Coyotes have not been playing well enough either for me to be rushing to get on board here. So just kind of an ugly game. I do agree that it would be Coyotes or nothing, but in my case here, it is nothing.
Yeah, fair enough here. Like you said, Boston hasn't been looking too hot. I was shocked when I was looking. Sometimes I like to pop in, just look at where everyone is in the standings and expected goals, and shocked to see the Boston Bruins below the Leafs at this time in the year. It's kind of crazy to see here. Gives me some hope for that first division spot there. Maybe they can crater, but yeah. Anyways, we'll move on. Surprised we aren't talking about the most important team in hockey today. Really thought you guys
would. The Canucks.
Okay, dokie. All right, we'll move on from there.
Don't play tonight.
All right, Ottawa Senators are taking on the Calgary Flames for our last game here of the day. Alex, you like this one? I'll let you take the lead on it.
Yeah, speaking of teams playing bad hockey, the Sens, this is like, my God, what a disaster season. This is like they cannot get to this offseason quick enough right now. Season is a lost cause. They need to figure out the organizational structure from the top down, maybe get a new arena. They got a lot of stuff to sort out in Ottawa right now, and it all starts off the ice, because on the ice, it's things are bad. Things are really bad, and they can't make a save. They can't, they're giving up a ton of chances right now. The offense just hasn't ticked up. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but it's pretty ugly. Ugly enough to the point where, like, the Flames, who aren't exactly playing the best hockey right now, are a very attractive bet to me tonight at the current price, which we are sitting at right now. Yeah, minus 127 at Penny, which is very nice for me. I would play this up to like minus 135-ish, no problem. Again, Ottawa's just look, they can't make saves. Even when they do play well, they're getting sewered by goaltending. So much needs to go right for Ottawa to get a win right now. And I'm going to need a much, much bigger price if I'm going to be backing them in any of these games. For the Flames, we should get Markstrom. Vladar started, I think Vladar started on Sunday in the second half of that back-to-back, so I feel good about getting Markstrom here. He's playing really well, auditioning himself for a trade, maybe to go chase another cup run somewhere. So, yeah, Flames tonight up to minus 135. Pretty attractive bet.
Love it here. Any thoughts, Scott?
Yeah, my buy point for the Flames is minus 127. So like that minus 127 being available would normally sort of trigger a bet. So I think I kind of feel like, I feel this way, feel the way about this game that Alex feels about the Coyotes, where it's like, if there was a bet to be made, it would be on the Flames. I'm a little bit concerned. One, we just absolutely trashed the Blackhawks as like a complete unserious non-NHL franchise. And it's like, well, what have the Blackhawks done lately? It's like, well, they beat the Flames in their last game.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, well, let's just hop on the Flames here at minus 127. Right. And so I just go like, God, I feel like maybe, as Alex sort of referred to the Coyotes, like maybe there's just better times. Maybe there's just better games to bet on. And then I'm also kind of a little bit worried about the scheduling spot for the Flames. We mentioned the idea of like the first game back after a long road trip. This is literally just like a stop in for Calgary.
It's a weird scheduling spot.
They head right back out, for Thursday in Phoenix and then in Vegas on Saturday. So this is like a home game within a road trip, right? This is a clean your clothes and move and get back out on the streets.
It's laundry day. Here. It's laundry day.
Yeah, it's a laundry day game, right? So I don't know if they're certainly not taking the wagon. They're not taking the stagecoach. I don't know what they're taking after losing to the Blackhawks to these next games. So I mean, if it was literally anybody but the Senators, it would be like, this is actually a really good fade spot for the Flames. And so, and I can't say to you like, okay, well, all these teams have lost these games in a row. Like, are we finally going to get their sort of best performance? And then tell you that like the Senators aren't going to have, kind of all hands on deck here with like a theoretical best version of themselves. So yeah, there's just too much uncertainty with all that kind of extraneous stuff for me to pull the trigger. So it's one thing kind of liking the number at -127, which, like I said, I do, and certainly wouldn't be surprised necessarily if the Flames won, and hope that they do for Alex's sake. But it's just like, we got our hands full here with some disgusting plays and some pick'em plays. Like, we are busy on a Tuesday night.
And since we did hit our little we didn't hit our goal of 40. Oh no, we did hit our goal of 40. Since we did hit our goal of 40 here, I'm gonna, before we close out the show, gonna submit the Zach parlay that he did send in. Gonna adjust it a bit because he had I'll let you guys know he had the alt puck line here for these 4 teams. I'm gonna reduce that just to the money line because I feel like 2,000 to 1 is just like a little bit egregious here. So we're gonna
take. Not what he said. That's not what he said. He likes them all by 2.
Hey, listen, if you Zach likes them all by 2. So if Chad, if you want to go after that, that's up to you. But this is little Zach's Hail Mary here. You have 200 to 1 parlay here on Anaheim money line, Columbus money line, Chicago money line, and San Jose money line. I knew the Leafs would come up at some point here. So we're gonna lock that in for 0.01 unit. To win just under 200 here. And before we head out, just a quick recap of the picks. If you're listening in audio form, too bad. I'm not recapping it in audio form. Come to the YouTube page. Come click subscribe. Come click that like button. And if you're not going to do that, then leave a review. So yeah, just a little bit of transaction here, right? You scratch our back, we scratch your back. So anyways, you can see on the screen right now, scrolling through all the picks. If you want to pause it now and look at them and lock them in. If you decide to skip through the show and just skip towards the end, then what are you doing? At least give us a like. Anyways, all right, guys, that wraps it up here for us on Edgework today. Any final thoughts from you, Matt or Alex? Matt, any final thoughts here for you?
Well, the thing about my back is that it's
located.
No. Best of luck, everybody. I think we've broken this down as best we possibly could while avoiding talking about the TML. So you know what? Everybody's a winner here today.
There is some breaking news here on Twitter that the flu bug has reemerged in the Leafs camp, according to Sheldon Keefe. So
I told you
sounds like there's going to be some lineup changes. So
okay.
Zach's parlay is looking a little bit better here with the Sharks included. So there we go. Everything's coming up, Zach, on this Tuesday.
Are you guys going to take a stab at San Jose money line on the show
I
here
am
right
not.
now?
I am not.
All right, fair.
Sharks +2. Sharks +2 are better than even money.
Love it. Okay, well, I did tell you guys that the Toronto Maple Leafs were in the upper section of a certain historic site in Toronto here, celebrating that Nylander contract. So that might have been something to do with it. Anyways, thank you everyone for tuning in today.
They got the brass flu.
The brass flu, exactly. If you're from Toronto, you know what we're talking about here. If you're not, then you're just like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Anyways, I'm gonna take us out here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We appreciate you. Before you head out here, if you haven't already, hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you have subscribed, do us a favor and tell your friends. If you have a friend who likes betting on sports, tell them. They're like, hey, check out the Edgework HQ channel. They're up 4.8% ROI on the year. They've done really, really well. If you're losing bets, maybe get some tips from them. So yeah, go tell a friend. We appreciate Insight. Insight knows what's up. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. For Matt.
Did we lose him?
No. Did Jay just die on us? Oh, he's there. He's still good.